The music world fell silent as Brian Wilson, the legendary founder of the Beach Boys, passed away at 82. His family's brief statement asked for privacy, but the absence of a cause of death left fans around the world grieving and wondering. It was his daughter, Carnie Wilson, who later revealed the heartbreaking truth. Brian had spent his final year lost in total memory loss after the death of his beloved wife, Melinda Ledbetter. Confined to a wheelchair and living under guardianship, he spent his last months in quiet isolation, barely recognizing those who loved him most. A troubled genius from childhood. Born in 1942 in Englewood, California, Brian's early life was marked by trauma. His father, Murray Wilson, was an abusive perfectionist whose violence left Brian deaf in one ear. Music became his escape. Fascinated by harmonies, he taught himself composition and soon formed the Beach Boys with his brothers and friends. While their songs celebrated youth and freedom, Brian's reality was darker. He was shy, anxious, and burdened by an inner world of fear. His obsession with perfection led him to spend countless hours in the studio, crafting sounds that would redefine American pop. The rise and collapse of a musical visionary. By his early 20s, Brian was hailed as a prodigy. Albums like Surfin' USA and Fun, Fun, Fun made the Beach Boys the face of California culture. But in 1964, a panic attack ended his touring days. Retreating to the studio, he created Pet Sounds, a masterpiece inspired by the Beatles' Rubber Soul. Its lush orchestration and emotional depth changed music forever, though it initially failed commercially. The rejection crushed Brian. Haunted by voices and insecurities, he spiraled into drug use and paranoia. His ambitious project Smile collapsed under the weight of his perfectionism and mental illness. Manipulation, madness, and lost control. By the 1970s, Brian became reclusive, spending years bedridden, overeating, and isolated. His family turned to psychologist Eugene Landy, who initially helped him recover, but soon became a manipulative figure controlling every aspect of Brian's life. Landy acted as therapist, producer, and financial manager, even taking songwriting credits. In 1991, a court banned Landy from contacting Brian, freeing him but leaving him emotionally hollow. This period became one of the most controversial chapters in music history. A genius trapped not by addiction alone, but by those claiming to save him. Redemption through love and music. Hope returned when Brian met Melinda Ledbetter, who became his wife and savior. Her patience and care helped him regain stability and return to music. Under her guidance, he released a completed version of Smile in 2004, earning global acclaim and a Grammy nomination. For the next 2 decades, Brian performed again, reconnecting with fans and family. But Melinda's death in 2024 marked the beginning of his decline. Stricken by grief and neurological illness, Brian withdrew completely, his world reduced to silence and fading memories. A legacy beyond sound. Though Brian Wilson's final years were filled with pain, his legacy transcends time. Pet Sounds is now celebrated as one of the greatest albums ever made, inspiring artists from Paul McCartney to Radiohead. Songs like God Only Knows and Wouldn't It Be Nice remain timeless symbols of innocence and emotional honesty. Carnie Wilson's final tribute to her father captured his essence, a man who turned pain into harmony and found freedom at last through music. Brian Wilson's life was not a fairy tale, but a symphony of sorrow and genius, forever echoing through the waves of time.